Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about my experiences with battling against these Team Go Rocket leaders, and then we're going to go ahead and go into a little bit of a article talking about counters and what you want to use to take on these three rocket leaders, because these rocket leaders are a lot of fun, but they are extremely tough, and I can tell you guys right now I am enjoying battling against these leaders because honestly, we're gonna go into all that, but in just a quick moment. But first of all, I just want to show you guys real quick that I'm wearing my work shirt. Yes. um, I actually forgot to. It's a long story, but anyways, I'm just wearing it today because just I guess it is what it is. But anyways, so with this thing that's been going on right now with this whole event, I've been loving it honestly. The reason why I haven't been posting much raids, actually, I might be slowing down on raids for a little bit because me and my friend the other day we were trying to go for a duo on Needle King, which is you guys don't know we have this new event going on right now, Team Rocket, um, leader thing that's to take or disrupting habitats and raids and stuff like that, and we saw Needle King and we were gonna duo it, but we kept having this error and we kept having this problem in which after you jump in the lobby it keeps giving you this bug that says rejoin battle and then 10 people is I don't know if that was just us or I don't know if you guys seen that for yourself, but I've been having some problems with the raiding lately, so that's why I haven't been pausing, I haven't been doing raids. However, it was only a free pass I lost for that, so I just haven't been raiding at all. I want to try to get you guys more raids because we do have some new raid bosses right now, and I want to try to get those out. But I was just hoping that they do fix that problem with the raids, so we can bring you guys those raid challenges because there's a lot of fun stuff coming up that I really want to do. And then once the fire type raids come back, there's some challenges I want to do for that as well, which we've yet to even do Blaziken yet, nor Charizard. But yeah, for the most part, this whole Team Go Rocket thing has been a lot of fun for me, honestly. Now, obviously, you have to defeat you got to defeat 6 grunts to get those 6 components. When you get 6 components, you'll then be able to create a rocket radar, which is going to then help you track down the Team Go Rocket leaders. So there's 3 leaders, which I hope you guys have been enjoying those battles I brought you guys against all 3 leaders. We have Cliff, Arlo, and Sierra. I hope I didn't pronounce that wrong. If I did, I apologize. But they're all pretty cool. I think the hardest one, in my opinion, has to be Arlo, and we're gonna go into that in just a moment. But overall, I love battling them because the starters you get is actually doubled. So like from a regular rocket grunt, you get 500 stardust, 750 if you have a star piece on, and then from a Team Go Rocket leader, you get 1,000 stardust, and it should be 1,500 if you have a star piece on, and then on top of that, you have a possible chance of getting a Universe Stone, which so far I've done quite a few. I've done a lot of these so far, and I've already gotten myself 3 extra Universe Stones. So right now I'm currently, as you guys are watching this video, I'm sitting at five Universe Stones. 5 Universe Stones. So that's pretty darn insane. So and I'm gonna keep, and personally, these battles I feel like I'm gonna keep doing them because they're just really useful for Stardust, for the Stardust, the um the potential chance at a Universe Stone. Obviously, you're not guaranteed it because in addition, you can also get Sinnoh Stone, Revive, Max Revive, which those are always never bad, honestly. And what was the other thing? I know, and potions, basically. There you go. So personally, I love doing the battles. They're a lot of fun. The music, guys, the music when you battle against these leaders is insane. Like I know you guys have heard them from. I put the music in all 3 battles. So if you guys have yet to check those battles out, be sure to do the battle. Be sure to check them out. But those battles were a lot of fun. The music was insane, and also the overall music that just where you walking searching for stuff. That music is freaking insane. I love it. Honestly, like well done, Niantic. Honestly, the only thing is that I just hope that they do fix that raid problem that we was having before, or maybe it could have just been on my phone. Maybe my phone didn't go so well, didn't go with that. I'm not too sure. Hopefully they do fix that. But anyways, what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and pull up an article so I can show you guys precisely all the Pokemon that these leaders are going to potentially be using. And I'm gonna tell you guys real quick before we go into this article that all three of them each lead with the exact same Pokemon every time, and that's the Pokemon you're gonna get. So Sierra is gonna always start with Sneasel, Cliff is gonna always start with Meowth, and then Arlo is gonna start with Scyther. So just so you guys are well aware. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop on to this article that I saw on GoHub, and I will see you guys there. Alright guys, so here we are on the GoHub guy going over the Team Go Rocket leaders. So let's go ahead and scroll down to pretty much at the point into which we're going to see the Pokemon. But obviously to get them, like I said, you need to get 6 mysterious components. So you have to defeat 6 grunts to get 6 components in order to create a rocket detector to then track down one of the leaders. So basically that's how it works. And then obviously combat tips say that they are going to in fact be using shields, which if you guys have seen that from my videos, you would have known that they have used shields, and from other people who have done these battles as well. So there, go ahead and here, and just as I was talking about before, these are the items you can potentially get from defeating Go Rocket leaders. You'll get max revive, a set of revives, max potion, and then you also get a potential. Oh, I also got hyper potions in there as well. So I guess they forgot to put that in there. So, and then on top of that, you got 1,000 Stardust, and then the ever exclusive Universe Stone, which I know everybody's after that, including myself, which I was able to get 2 today, which is insane. And then a Sinnoh Stone. So, and then obviously you could potentially get shiny Shadow Pokemon. So currently we have Meowth, which you guys see right there. Looks pretty cool. And then we have the shiny Scyther, Shadow Scyther, which looks awesome. And then we got the shiny Shadow Sneasel, which is actually one I will kind of want to get the most out of these. But overall looks pretty cool. And then basically how the outline works, when you have the rocket detector, you can detect all the stops near you, and then it showcases all that. So that's pretty cool. So first off, this is Cliff. So Cliff is always going to be starting with Meowth. So definitely well note of that. And then for his second Pokemon, he's going to have potentially Snorlax, Sandslash, or Flygon. So if you guys see my video, you've seen that he actually had used Sandslash, which personally I think Sandslash is one of the more easier ones to deal with, because the one I fought had Metal Claw and Earthquake, so it was easier for me to gain energy. Well, not really gain energy, but like farm energy. Like the reason why I had a Giratina on my team, I don't know why I brought Giratina, but I had Giratina because it does get Shadow Claw, which does end up getting me energy to be able to get those Shadow Balls in there just to bait those 2 shields. Because keep in mind, all 3 Go Rockets are going to be using shields, so keep that in mind as you guys are battling them. And for sure against these, I already see some weaknesses that we're going to talk about in just a moment. But I use Giratina as a shield baiter to basically bait the shields from the Sandslash. Since the Sandslash had Earthquake, it was going to be pretty easy for me to bait those shields and then just finish it off. And then the last Pokemon was Tyranitar for me, which ended up being better for me, in which it made it a lot more easier for me to take it out. So looking at these Pokemon here, obviously Sandslash, Flygon, and Torterra are all weak to ice. So, but in the second slot we have Snorlax, which also shares a weakness to fighting with like Meowth. Sandslash and Flygon, which are both of those 2 are weak to ice. Sandslash, Infernape, and Tyranitar are all weak to water. So Torterra is weak to fire, but I don't think that's kind of a relevant type. Infernape is also weak to psychic, weak to ground. So Infernape and Tyranitar are also both weak to ground, but you kind of want to take advantage of the fighting type, especially against Tyranitar, and you definitely want to have an ice type to take on the Flygon, Torterra, stuff like that. So here are some Pokemon they recommend here. We got Lucario with counter, Power Punch, and Shadow Ball. Lucario is fantastic. I've used it myself. It definitely works. We got Regice with Lock On and Blizzard. I think this is a solid option for sure, especially because Lock On grants you so much energy to get off those Blizzard. It's fantastic, and it'll serve you really well against Flygon and Torterra, as well as it can also do well against the Sandslash. You just have to watch out for that Metal Claw, because Metal Claw will be super effective on your Regice, or any ice type in particular you use. Mamoswine is also not a bad choice. You just have to watch out for that Metal Claw, and for the Razor Leaf from the Torterra, because that is going to hurt a lot. And I think even if you are neutral or resisting Razor Leaf is still going to do a lot, because the CP on these Shadow Pokemon, they're going to have well over over 10,000. Like the Tyranitar I fought had 19,000 CP, so they're going to be doing a lot of damage. So definitely keep that in mind. So then we got Swampert here with Mudshot, Hydro Cannon, Earthquake. Swampert's not a bad. It's definitely a solid choice. It can do well against Sandslash. It could do well against Infernape, and it could also be decent against Tyranitar as well. So so those are the Pokemon that you want to use against those. Other Pokemon you can also use against Sandslash. Like I said, you could use Mamoswine, which you can do well against Sandslash, Flygon, and Torterra. You just have to watch out for the Razor from the Torterra and the Metal Claw from Sandslash, because those are going to do pretty big damage. Kyogre is also a fantastic choice for sure. Kyogre can help you against Sandslash, Infernape, and also could do well against Tyranitar. But the main Pokemon you want to use for sure is, of course, going to be Machamp, because Machamp is going to be, aka that flex like Machamp, it's going to actually be able to take out the Meowth, it can take out the Snorlax, and it can take out Tyranitar. However, Snorlax is going to be a hard-hitting one, because I fought a couple of Snorlax today when Cliff used it, and they all had Zen Headbutt. I actually ran into one Lick, and that Zen Headbutt does so much damage. I had to switch my Machamp. I actually had two Machamps on my team, because that Zen Headbutt was doing so much damage. I had to switch out. And here's a quick tip, guys. When you switch out, when you switch your Pokemon or use a charge move or any of that regards there, you're gonna actually, or if they use a charge move, they're gonna be paused for a moment. So that'll give you a little small opportunity to be able to get yourself energy to get off a charge move, or maybe pull off a switch when you need to at the time, so it can help you out in that long run for sure. So, well, when you switch, you'll get a few seconds of the enemy will be paused basically. So those are just some other Pokemon you can use. You can also go Mewtwo, but it's only going to really do well against Infernape. But if you run Mewtwo that has Ice Beam, then it could do well against Sandslash, Flygon, and Torterra. Torterra, however, does have access to Bite, so you have to be careful with that. So other than that, I would say the top Pokemon for sure, well, that I used that worked out for me, Machamp. I go to Machamps, and you know, depending on what they have, I go Mamoswine. Sometimes I go with Gyarados to base shields. But I'm going to have to consider a Regice for sure, because I do actually just got a lucky Regice. I'm going to give that a shot. But other than that, I think Regice is fantastic as well, because it's super tanky as well. So keep that in mind on Cliff. So anyways, next up we're going to go ahead and talk about Sierra, in which Sierra, she's guaranteed to start with Sneasel, which is going to have a double weakness to fighting. So once again, Machamp is going to be fantastic here. But keep in mind, Sneasel is going to do a lot of damage. Even if it has dark moves, it's still going to do a decent amount. And then for a second Pokemon, she'll potentially have Hypno, Lapras, and Sableye. The majority of Sierras I fought today almost all of them had Lapras. I ran into one that has Sableye as well. So looking at her team, her set of Pokemon, she has 3 Pokemon that's going to be weak to fighting, and she's going to have two Pokemon that's going to be weak to Dark, and 1 week to Fairy, and then 1 week to Steel, weak to Ghost, stuff like that. So, and then scrolling down here, and then before we go there, and then in her third slot, she's going to potentially have Alakazam, Houndoom, and Gardevoir. So out of these, I think the easiest one for me was definitely the Alakazam, because if you have a Tyranitar on your team, which that's going to be one of the counters to recommend, you're going to be doing fantastically against Alakazam. Especially if it only has Psychic moves, you're going to be doing really well in that scenario. So, scroll down to the Pokemon here, we got, once again, Lucario with Counter, Power Punch, and Shadow Ball. Does well against Sneasel, Lapras, and also helps with Hypno and Alakazam with that Shadow Ball. You can also just go Machamp. Machamp will also be okay, will be solid as well. It'll do well against Sneasel. It'll also do well against Lapras, but keep in mind Lapras is going to rip through the Machamp for sure. If she happens to have Lapras, you can also try go with Raikou as well. I've used Raikou with Thundershock, Wall Charge. It's been doing me well. You could also go Magnezone, which can also help you out against Gardevoir because of that steel typing. Magnezone does help for sure. Magnezone is actually not a bad choice either, especially if Lapras' quick move is that Frost Breath, in which you're going to be resisting. But keep in mind, they're still going to be doing a lot of damage in that regards too. So may want to also consider packing a Fairy type against the Sableye. Gardevoir would be a good choice, or preferably Togekiss, because I think both of them are both fantastic, honestly. But I think Tyranitar also does well against Sableye as well too, because Tyranitar resists both of Sableye's fast moves, and Tyranitar also does well against Hypno, Alakazam. And as long as the Gardevoir doesn't have Charm, if Gardevoir has Confusion, then Tyranitar is going to be fantastic in that situation. So just if she happens to have Gardevoir, just scout for that Confusion. If they have Confusion, then Tyranitar or Bite Crunch is going to be fantastic against that. You just have to shield in case it happens to have the Dazzle and Gleam. So, but other than that, you should be good to go there. So, yeah, and then of course, like I mentioned here, they mentioned Tyranitar. You can also go Lucario, Melmetal, which I actually don't have one maxed out. Melmetal also does well against me, Gardevoir, Lapras, Hypno, and Alakazam. Covers a lot of those options for sure. And then Lucario is also fantastic for sure there. So that's Selena, just so you guys are aware. And then finally, we're going to go into Arlo. So Arlo, personally, is the hardest one because these are the Pokemon he has. He's going to always lead with Scyther. And then his second Pokemon is going to be either Magnezone, Crobat, or Gyarados. I have not seen him use Gyarados yet, but I have faced Crobat and Magnezone. And then on this third slot, he's going to potentially have Scizor, Dragonite, and Charizard. So, this Arlo personally is the hardest one because he does have Magnezone, which is going to be a problem if you actually have like Tyranitar in the late slot. Now, mind you, Tyranitar is going to actually be fantastic against Scyther if Scyther does not have that Fury Cutter as the quick move. If it has Fury Cutter, then Tyranitar is not going to be doing well. It's going to be slicing through Tyranitar's HP so fast, like it's not even funny. But if Scyther has the air slash as quick move, then it's going to actually Tyranitar will be performing much better in that situation. Which if it has Fury Cutter, you're going to want to switch over to something else. Maybe like Rhyperior with Smackdown and Stone Edge. You can also use Melmetal like they mentioned before. Thundershock, Rock Slide can also counter that as well. And it'll also do well against Crobat and Gyarados. You just have to watch out for Gyarados. Gyarados is just going to do a lot of damage overall. But let's go ahead and take a look at some Pokemon they recommend here. We got Melmetal once again coming in that number 1 slot with Thundershock, and then for Rock Slide and Thunderbolt. It does well against Scyther, especially against Scyther, being able to resist both of Scyther's moves. And then you have Mewtwo that has Ice Beam that can cover Dragon. If it has Ice Beam, it can cover the Crobat and Dragonite. And then it can also do well mainly for Ice Beam. You want to use that for. And then we got Blaziken with Counter, Blaze Kick, and Focus Blast. So Blaziken is fantastic against Scizor because it's going to be double weak to that fire typing, and it could also find usability against Magnezone. Against Magnezone, which I've faced a couple of those, I've actually been using Garchomp against that, which I personally don't think Garchomp is not a good choice, personally, especially since the third Pokemon could potentially be Dragonite and Charizard. Now, the reason why I say it's not possible is because the Garchomp I used has Mudshot and Earthquake for that ground typing. However, with it does really well against Magnezone that I consider Garchomp sometimes. Like if I see Magnezone, I immediately back out and make sure Garchomp's on my team. And then if the last Pokemon happens to be the Dragonite or the Charizard, which I've actually have not seen him use Dragonite yet, but I have seen him use Scizor and Charizard. I think the one I've seen the most is Scizor. There was that one time where she did use Charizard, in which I had saved energy from my Tyranitar with Stone Edge because that battle he actually had Scyther that actually had Air Slash, so I was able to save the Stone Edge energy for the Charizard. Got the shields on the second Pokemon with my Garchomp versus the Magnezone, and then when he brought out Charizard, I was able to switch right back to my Tyranitar, got the Stone Edge, and finished it off his Charizard. So
Because of that, that's why I had Garchomp on my team, mainly for Madness Zone. Otherwise, I would probably be using Raikou, because Raikou, personally, is not a bad choice either. It does well against Crobat, and it's going to be double super effective on Gyarados. But Gyarados is going to be hitting hard, so because of that, I think Raikou may not be as good. So you might want to consider Melmetal. But I think Raikou is not a bad choice either, especially since Thundershock will get you a lot of energy super quick. And Raikou can also do well against Charizard as well. Granted, if Charizard doesn't have Fire Spin and you still have a decent amount of HP on it, which most likely is not going to be the case, because especially if you're up against Gyarados and it does a lot of damage, then you're gonna be left in some HP there. But you might be able to get off a Wild Charge, but it depends on the situation. Other than that, you may want to consider Elite Tyranitar will definitely check Scyther, Crobat, Dragonite, and well, I wouldn't say Dragonite because Dragonite does get that Steel Wing as a quick move. So, but against Dragonite, you probably want to consider Mewtwo with Ice Beam. Personally, I can also recommend. I wouldn't recommend using an Ice type because if Dragonite does have that Steel Wing, those Ice types are going to go down super quick. So Dragonite, I think, is going to be the hardest one out of these because, well, I haven't faced Dragonite yet to really confirm that, but I can tell you that it's not going to be easy, especially with these Shadow Pokemon having so much CP is ridiculous. So personally, what I used against Arlo that's been working for me, I I scout for the Air Slash or Fury Cutter from Scyther with my Tyranitar, and if it has it, then I just switch over to my I switch over to my Golem, and then or sometimes I use Moltres as well against Scyther. And Moltres could be okay against Magnetism, but not really. So if it doesn't have it, then I could just go in with Tyranitar. It actually is it's a bit more easier if Scyther doesn't have the Fury Cutter as a quick move. Otherwise, I will probably consider a Melmetal or Regirock in that regards too. So, but I think Melmetal will probably be a lot better in that situation because Melmetal, like they mentioned here, is going to cover the Scyther, the Gyarados, Crobat, and the Dragonite as well too. So, you definitely want to make sure that you have to burn shields you have to burn those leader shields as quick as possible. You have to get those shields off. You have to make sure you prioritize moves that resist fast moves, like I mentioned before. It's going to be able to like in some situations you're gonna want to bring a Pokemon that's going to help you against the first Pokemon because you want to bait those shields as soon as possible. So what I would advise you guys to do is when you battle them, like not to mention you're gonna have an unlimited amount of time until at least like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, I think it was. So I would say scout to see what fast moves they have, and then prep your counters based on that. Scout for what Pokemon they use, and then you want to build your team to help take around there to help you take these down for sure. So, but other than that, these are the Pokemon they use, and yeah. And honestly, I have been like I said, I have been enjoying these battles, and I hope you guys have been enjoying them too. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have been enjoying these battles for the most part. I definitely have been for sure. So what I will advise you guys to do is to scout what they use, and then it'll be also good to prep your team to take on these leaders. And then you should be good to go in that regards. So with that being said, let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I apologize for this video being pretty long. But thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. And again, let me know if you guys have been enjoying these battles. I can't wait until Monday, which Monday I'm going to be able to get my 5th spin, so I can continue the process with the research to get that special scan radar, so we can search for Giovanni. I cannot wait to battle Giovanni. It's going to be a blast. So yeah, and then get some Shadow Legendaries. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.